In this explosive, action-packed ride, we are introduced to one of the most feared fighters on the planet, Yuri Boyka. An escaped convict from a brutal Russian prison, Boyka is no longer fighting just to survive. Now he's chasing something far greater: redemption and global recognition in the world of professional MMA. The man who once ruled underground prison fights with iron fists now seeks legitimate glory, but fate has something far more punishing in store for him. Now training in Kyiv, Boyka is a man reborn, but he is not at peace. 10 long years inside a maximum security prison have carved discipline into his bones, yet the scars, both physical and spiritual, still linger. While others might crumble under such a past, Boyka channels it into relentless determination. He no longer wants hollow victories and blood-soaked prison rings. He wants real titles, real respect. But as his journey begins, a dark shadow starts forming far away in the very prison that once made his name feared. Inside Black Hills prison, whispers spread about a terrifying new fighter known only as the Nightmare. Unpredictable, savage, and seemingly unstoppable, this monstrous figure is building a reputation of fear that rivals Boyka's own legacy. Seeking peace, Boyka visits a local church, a place he himself helped build. He kneels not as a champion, but as a man burdened by guilt. There, the priest questions his path, reminding him that violence cannot lead to salvation.
But if it's salvation you seek, violence is not the answer.
But Boyka stands firm. He believes his ability to fight is a gift from God, and refusing to use it would be the real sin. With that conviction, he walks away, still torn but determined.
I think God gave me this gift, and I think it would be a sin to waste it.
Soon after, his manager, Kirill, brings him life-changing news. There's an official qualifying fight for a European MMA championship. This isn't some underground brawl. Real scouts will be watching and handpicking the best fighters. Without hesitation, Boyka heads to Budapest, ready to prove that he belongs among the elites.
I convinced the tournament scouts to come and watch you at your next fight. If you convince them, then you're in.
The fight begins, and the atmosphere is electric. The crowd roars as Boyka steps into the ring. But this time, things aren't as easy as they used to be. His opponent is sharp, precise, and dangerously calculated. Every move that Boyka makes is met with resistance, every strike narrowly avoided or countered. For a moment, it almost feels like Boyka is being pushed to his limits. Sweat drips down his face as he dodges a relentless storm of punches. The crowd gasps with every near hit. But then, something shifts. His opponent's determination ignites something primal in Boyka. His frustration turns into focus, and his movements become more aggressive, more predatory. Suddenly, Boyka delivers a brutal sequence of strikes that rock his opponent to the core. Punch after punch lands with devastating precision. His opponent stumbles, falls, but somehow rises again, refusing to quit. That defiance only fuels Boyka further. With one final surge of power, he unleashes a crushing combination of attacks that sends his opponent crashing to the mat, motionless. The referee declares Boyka as the winner, and the arena erupts. He stands tall once again, proving that he is still a force to be reckoned with. But victory comes with a heavy cost. As Boyka leaves the arena, he sees his opponent being carried away on a stretcher, barely alive.
What is the matter with him?
He's in very serious condition. We're taking him to the hospital. He looks like a concussion.
The cheers of the crowd fade into silence inside his mind, and the priest's words echo louder than ever. The next morning, haunted by guilt, Boyka confronts Kirill, but his concerns are brushed aside. When he presses for more, he is shocked to learn that the man died last night.
He's dead.
What do you mean he's dead?
This shakes him to the core, as he never meant to kill that person. Boyka learns that his name was Victor, and when he goes through his belongings, finds a letter that Victor had addressed to his wife before his death. Boyka is now determined to visit this woman and hand over this letter to her. Kirill calls this madness, but he is determined to do what he wants. This is no longer just about fighting, it's about atonement. Driven by remorse, Boyka decides to travel to Russia, despite being a wanted fugitive. Armed with forged documents, he crosses the border and heads to Viktor's hometown of Drovny. There, he witnesses the aftermath of his actions firsthand. At Viktor's funeral, his wife, Alma, stands motionless, drowned in sorrow. A ruthless man approaches the widow, coldly informing her that her husband's death does not erase his debts.
He's dead. What does it matter now, except for the fact that you owe me a lot of money?
She is now trapped, and the only way out is to work for this man until the debt is paid off. Boyka tracks her down, only to find himself stepping into a dangerous underworld of crime and exploitation. He stands at the gates of Alma's youth center and sees her happily interacting with the kids. But soon, a car pulls over, and a man steps out and hurriedly pulls Alma inside his car.
I wanted to speak with her.
Nobody speaks to her.
Where are they going?
She's going to work now.
Where?
At a nightclub, he discovers underground fights once again, and his eyes fall on Igor Kazmir, the reigning champion who fights dirty and without mercy. Among the chaos, he spots Alma, working as a waitress, clearly under someone's control. When Boyka tries to approach her, he is thrown out and warned to stay away. But Boyka is not a man who backs down. After dismantling a group of guards outside, he catches the attention of Zurab, the club's ruthless owner. He is the same man from before, and he is impressed by Boyka's skills. Zurab offers him a place in his underground fights, but Boyka refuses. He threatens Boyka and warns him not to come close to Alma, as he owns her now, and orders his lackeys to keep an eye on him. Next day, Boyka visits Alma at the youth center, ignoring Zurab's warning, and swiftly pushes past one of his guards.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Boyka finally speaks with Alma and hands over the letter to her, but when she asks how he knows Viktor, the truth eventually comes out. He confesses that he was the man who faced Viktor during his final match. The revelation hits her like a storm. Devastated and furious, she rejects him completely, refusing his money and blaming him for the tragedy.
Take this back. And get the hell out of here, back to Kiev or wherever it is that you came from. Get out.
But Boyka doesn't give up. Instead, he enters Zurab's nightclub and makes a deal with him. He will compete in his arena in exchange for Alma's freedom. Zurab agrees, but with harsh conditions. Boyka must win 3 matches in 1 week and also defeat the arena's champion. He also reveals that he knows Yuri's real identity, showing that his influence extends even to discovering Yuri's forged documents. And just like that, the stage is set.
Just remember one thing. My arena. My rules.
The next day, Alma confronts Yuri outside his hotel, angrily accusing him of interfering in her life. She believes that Boyka is trying to buy her by winning the fights, but his reply leaves her stunned.
I come here to save myself.
Boyka goes to train in Zurab's gym, but one of his lackeys picks up a fight with him. Boyka flattens him with a single kick, scaring the weaklings surrounding him. The first fight is a display of pure dominance. Boyka quickly overpowers his opponent, reminding everyone exactly who he is. Post-fight, Alma brings him a glass of water. Here, he asks her about a place where he can train, and she kindly invites him to train at her youth center. He is impressed by the equipment at her disposal, and she lets him know that Zurab had given her husband a loan to run the youth center where they help poor children. But after Viktor's death, she doesn't have the money to repay the loan and is forced to work for Zurab. While training, the orphan children are amazed at his physique and by his skills. They sit to watch him practice, and this motivates Boyka even more. But the second fight raises the stakes dramatically. This time, he faces not one, but 2 opponents, the deadly Ozerov brothers.
My arena, my rules. Now let's see what you can do.
The odds are stacked against him. The brothers attack with perfect coordination, overwhelming Boyka at every turn. Despite taking brutal hits, including a crushing blow to his injured back, he refuses to fall. For a moment, it seems impossible, but Boyka adapts, studies their movements, and begins to break them down piece by piece. With sheer willpower, he fights back and eventually takes both brothers down in a breathtaking finish. The crowd explodes into cheers as Yuri collapses to his knees, his chest heaving from exhaustion. His name echoes as loud as thunder, chanted by a crowd that has just witnessed his unshakable willpower. Alma watches in admiration, her perception of Yuri shifting as she sees not just a fighter, but a man of extraordinary determination and resilience.
Next day, Kirill calls Boyka and tells him that he needs to catch a bus at 9:45 p.m. so that he can timely board his flight to Europe. Boyka agrees to be on time and disconnects. Meanwhile, Zurab meets with a corrupt police lieutenant in his office and plans on ending Yuri's unbeaten run. He demands that the officer bring him the Nightmare, a notorious inmate from the Black Hills prison, to fight Yuri. Though hesitant at first, the officer agrees after Zurab promises a significant reward, including the capture of Yuri Boyka. Unaware of Zurab's plans, Yuri continues his training inside the youth center. Seeing him train relentlessly for her freedom, she softens up. She prepares a herbal ointment for his back pain and offers to apply it herself. However, when Yuri asks why she doesn't leave the city, Alma takes offense. She reveals that the youth center is a dream she shared with Victor, a dream they funded by borrowing money from Zurab. Alma refuses to abandon the youth center, as she deeply cares for the children who attend it.
Without a place like this, all of these kids would be in gangs or something worse. But you probably don't know anything about it. You can keep the rest.
Zurab notices Yuri frequently visiting Alma's workplace, and his jealousy flares. He confronts Alma, trying to turn her against Yuri, but when his efforts fail, he tries to force himself on her. Upon returning to his hotel room, he finds Alma waiting for him. She demands to know the truth about what happened during Victor's final fight. Reluctantly, Yuri opens up about his past. He confesses to having done terrible things that landed him in prison, where he became a hateful man full of anger.
It wasn't until he found faith in God that he began to change. Yuri describes how, during the fight with Victor, he stopped seeing his opponent as a person and only saw a target that he must destroy.
I did not see a husband. I did not see a man. Only someone standing in between me and my dream.
Although Alma knows that he was not at fault, still she is heartbroken after this revelation. Boyka prepares for his third fight against Igor Kazmir. Tension fills the air, as Boyka believes that only Igor Kazmir stands in the way of Alma and her freedom. Igor wastes no time exploiting Boyka's injured back, striking with ruthless precision. Blow after blow lands, pushing Boyka closer to defeat. Each blow pushes Yuri closer to his limit, his strength waning under the relentless assault. At one point, Yuri collapses to the mat, struggling to rise. His gaze falls on Alma, and that single moment changes everything. Fueled by something deeper than strength, Boyka pushes his body through sheer will and rises again. The crowd is left stunned, and Igor is in disbelief. Yuri unleashes a sequence of deadly attacks that leave Igor shocked and disoriented. The excitement peaks as Yuri delivers a final, powerful kick to Igor's head, sending him crashing to the mat. The crowd erupts into cheers as the referee raises Yuri's hand in victory. Feeling exhausted but triumphant, Yuri looks out into the crowd, locking eyes with Alma, who now sees him in an entirely new light.
But the worst is far from over. Boyka picks up his bag and goes to exit, but Zurab and his men stop him. Boyka jeers at him, but Zurab holds the trump card, Alma. He reveals his true intentions and introduces Boyka's final opponent, the Nightmare. Towering, brutal, and seemingly unstoppable. Boyka, already broken and injured from the previous fight, has no choice but to step into the ring once again just for Alma's sake. This giant wastes no time. One crushing blow sends Boyka crashing to the ground. The crowd believes it's over. His mouthguard flies out, skidding across the ring as Zurab's smug grin stretches wider as he watches his champion's apparent victory. But as the Nightmare revels in the moment, Yuri's fingers twitch. Alma watches it while sitting beside Zurab, praying for Boyka to stand back up. Boyka, almost disoriented, bleeds from his mouth. His eyes again fall on the helpless Alma. Furious at Zurab's betrayal, he forces his muscles to do his bidding and stands up. Bruised, battered, and barely standing, he fights on. Every movement is agony, every strike a test of his limits. But slowly, he begins to turn the tide. With precision and heart, he weakens the giant, dragging him into a brutal ground fight. Then, in a moment of pure determination, Boyka locks a submission hold so powerful that even the nightmare is forced to scream. With precision and fury, he delivers a flurry of bone-crushing punches to his opponent's chest, the force of each blow echoing through the arena. He musters all his strength and kicks the nightmare in the chest, throwing him out of the ring into the bare floor. The arena explodes. Against all odds, Boyka has done the impossible. But victory is short-lived as Zurab betrays him. His men attack Boyka, beating him mercilessly. Amid the chaos, Alma is dragged away. Though severely injured, Boyka rises once more, fighting through bullets and pain. Even after being shot, he continues forward, chasing Zurab in a desperate final confrontation. Zurab takes Alma hostage, but when he speaks ill about Victor, she bites his hand, giving Boyka the opportunity to strike. In the end, Boyka kills Zurab and saves Alma, but at a heavy cost. With no strength left and no fight remaining, he surrenders to the police. But before he is taken away, he asks her if she has forgiven him. Still shaken, Alma remains silent as he is dragged away into prison. Once again, Yuri Boyka finds himself behind bars in Black Hills prison. 6 months pass. The noise of the world fades, replaced by silence and reflection. Then one day, Alma visits him. Boyka is surprised as he never expected her to come and meet him. She admits that at first she had been consumed by anger, unable to forgive. But now she sees the truth. Boyka is not just a fighter, but a man seeking redemption. And finally, the words he has been waiting for are spoken.
I forgive you.
For the first time, Yuri Boyka finds something greater than victory. He finally finds peace. And thus the movie ends. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel.